Call to order a meeting of the North Andover School Committee. Today is Thursday, March 3rd, 2021, and we will, I'm sorry, 2022. I do not want to go back to 2021. Thursday, March 3rd, 2022. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Perfect. Thank you. So I am just going to ask that if you have a electronic device that you silence it. So there were no requests for public comment from the phone form. So we'll open up for in-person public comment. Ms. Picard, we can't hear you. Give us 1 sec. Oh, whoa, now we can.
I think you need to roll call that not everyone's in the room before the meeting starts.
All right, yep, we can absolutely do that. I'll do a roll call. Virtually, we have you, Ms. Picard?
Yes.
All right. And in the room, we have Ms. Vitsky and Ms. Mabley. Ms. Petrowski will be joining virtually later, and the chair is present.
And I think the others that are virtually on the meeting have to be acknowledged as well.
Virtually as well. Dr. Gilligan, you want to do roll call for your team, virtually and in person?
Well, this is pretty cool. My first roll call vote of my team. Can I have the Assistant Superintendent, Lorene Marks? Are you here?
I'm here.
Outstanding. And our Executive Director for Special Education, Marcy Bacuzzi.
I am here.
All right. I think that does it.
No, Cheryl. And
Cheryl.
Oh, I am sorry. Present in the room is Dr. Jamili, Assistant Superintendent for Finance and Operations. And every week, or every other week, we have Cheryl Barzak, our Director of Health and Wellness. Cheryl, are you here for our
I'm
health?
here.
All right, great.
And there's two student reps.
Yep. And we have 2 student reps available tonight, Lindsay, and we have Ethan.
There he is.
Are you guys on tonight?
Yep, we're here.
Awesome.
Hi.
All right. Great.
Thank you.
All right. Public comment from the room. All right. Dr. Gilligan, we'll move on to recognition.
Awesome. So for recognition tonight, tonight we're going to recognize the Thompson Elementary School and the Student Council for their work in Codes for Kids.
Yep.
Well, no doubt about it, Ms. Gilmartin. I worked with you long enough as principal to know. So anyone from Thompson School and Codes for Kids, can you guys come up and sit around the microphone here? All right. Thank you guys for coming so much. And so we want to recognize you tonight, but let's hear what you have to say first.
Greetings, School Committee. My name is Caden Deshays.
And I'm John Druin.
We were in charge of collecting and counting Coats for Kids at Thompson Elementary School. We are proud to announce that we came first place in the Coat Drive, the top elementary school. The main reason we are here with you today is to present the Thompson School's $1,500 check we won for collecting the most coats.
Every week we remind kids to bring unused coats to area families in need. We collected a total amount of 214 coats. We hope to use this money to improve access in the Thompson School playground. Thank you,
and have a good night.
Awesome.
Oh, really awesome. Ms. Gilmartin, I know you do not like this, but could you come up and join these guys? I do want to...
Ms. Schmidt is here as well.
Oh, Ms. Schmidt, I am sorry. I have my progressive lenses on. But two of the greats when I was at Thompson as principal. I'm going to come up and I want to read the proclamation on behalf of the school committee. And Mr. McDevitt, if you wouldn't mind, I'd love to get a picture with you and the students up here as well. So,
Do you want to read it while you get a microphone?
I'm going to go down to that microphone.
Oh, all right. Okay. All right.
right, guys, congrats. So, the North Andover School Committee, this is a certificate of recognition presented to the Student Council in the Thompson Elementary on March 3rd, 2022, in grateful appreciation of their participation in this year's Coat for Kids program, sponsored by Jordan's Furniture, and furthermore, collecting the most coats of any participating group, which is pretty remarkable. I can tell you as a former principal that this is quite an honor. Just within North Andover ourselves, it's been really hard to beat out the other schools. So for us, as a district and as the Thompson School, to beat out not only our own schools, but everyone in the region, remarkable job that benefits humans in all of Massachusetts. And thank you so much.
These two boys worked so hard. That's why we made it. They were relentless. They reminded people every week that bring in those coats, and they counted them, and we got them to Anton's Cleaners. So that's why they're here, because we are very proud of them.
Question. Would you know what you did differently, or anything special that you did? Like, what was it that you did? How did you motivate your friends?
Well, we learned a lot, on the little, we just talked to the school a lot about, donating coats, and every day we would go and check how much we got.
Excellent.
They were
Well
great
done.
reporters.
Super impressive. Thank you for your hard work.
Pretty awesome, and I'm going to introduce you guys now. I'd love to have the chair of the school committee, Andrew McDevitt, come up to present Ms. Gilmartin, and you guys just to hand this off, and everyone, if we could get in for a photo op.
All right, you guys.
Dr. Mealy
Yes.
is going to, be in charge of that. Yeah, he's the guy right there.
Nice, guys.
Awesome. Great job.
So,
Congratulations.
Awesome. You guys should give
congrats,
it to
guys.
Mr. Raymond in the morning, so we can hang it on the wall.
Nice. Beautiful job.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
So that is a lot of drama around one recognition, but I will say that it's a big deal. All the schools typically participate, and right when they get near the end, schools are like, who has what for coats? And it is a battle. And
Good work.
just, I would say, awesome job by our students. And Ms. Schmidt, Ms. Gilmartin, thank you so much.
Dr. Gilligan, just so you know, you mentioned how, it's always touch and go to the end. They had asked me on Friday where we were, and I had checked the leaderboard, and we were in 4th place. So I was like, oh, maybe we'll get to 3rd place. Then 2 days later, I got the email from Jordan's Furniture congratulating us. So I went and called both of them down, look at this. It was so
Awesome.
exciting.
That's fantastic.
Great job.
Thanks, guys.
Perfect. All right, so let's move on to, we didn't know if they were going to stay or not, but we moved the consent agenda, Coats for Kids donation to first here. So, oops, wrong page there. So there's recommended action that we accept an award from Jordan's Furniture earned by the 4th grade students at Thompson School for collecting the most coats in this year's Coats for Kids drive. The $1,500 will be used for either sports programs or after-school programs, and there is a letter from Jordan's Furniture Public Relations in the packet as well. So is there a motion to accept the donation?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. Mably, seconded by Ms. Vitsky. Any discussion on the motion? Hearing none, seeing none, I'll do a roll call vote. We'll start virtually. Ms. Picard?
Yes.
Ms. Vitsky?
Yes.
Ms. Mably?
Yes, sir.
Chair votes yes, so thank you to the Thompson kids, but thank you to Jordan's Furniture as well for their partnership with us. So
And
motion-
Anton's.
And Anton's, absolutely. Who I think cleans and helps distribute them all, so awesome. And next we have the North Andover Music Association. Do you guys want to come up? So I know that there's a letter here, but having known most of you, I think you can speak pretty well. So you want to?
Linda wants to read the letter.
Actually, yeah. Thank
Awesome.
you so much for having us here tonight. My name is Linda Burns. I'm the president of the North Andover Music Association. I'm joined by our treasurer, Kim Hurst, and our volunteer coordinator, Karen Bissell. And tonight we're just here to tell you a little bit about the support we've provided for the North Andover Public School music programs over the last 2 years. And I'm just going to go ahead and read my letter so that I don't forget
Alright.
anything. And I'll put my eyeballs on. Excuse me. It is with great pleasure that we, the North Andover Music Association, have offered the following donations to the NAPS music program since our last presentation in May of 2019. NAMA's most noteworthy contribution was $11,874 for the purchase of 120 insulated rain jackets for the North Andover High School marching band last spring. Mrs. Hurst is
Wow.
modeling. If you didn't see
I
them
am
in the
totally
fall.
digging that hood there.
Picture of this, it's great.
Yeah, you need the NA and the knights in the back.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, the hood is great and it zips up, so.
That may be the nicest
Isn't it?
jacket I've seen.
They
Yeah,
are very nice.
Really nice.
And we were especially pleased for the band to wear those jackets during their extremely cold November performance at Fenway Park. They were worth every penny that night, paid for themselves. NAMA also wishes to thank the Hurst family for spearheading and contributing generously to this project over a number of years.
Matching contributions for 4 years.
But
Wow.
I don't know that it would have been accomplished without your, yes, yep. And I think it originated at Andover,
Andover
the
football.
football, the night before Thanksgiving
game,
football game
We
when,
had a band member go down and have to be hospitalized for hypothermia.
yeah,
Oh my
so
goodness.
this seemed to be
This seemed to be a good, and that was before COVID and right before COVID.
yeah, this was a while back.
So, yeah.
So yes, worthy investment. Also of particular note, with generous support totaling $2,340 from the many friends and colleagues of NAM's teacher and former NAMA board member Sue Francoeur, NAMA was able to purchase a $969 bell kit for NAMS and complete the funding for a $5,300 set of chimes for NAS. Both items were dedicated with plaques in memory of Sue's parents, William and Victoria Semino.
Couldn't bring those.
No, but they are being well used. Additional support included the donation of a $1,125 bass xylophone and assorted books requested by Franklin Elementary School music teacher Michael Rinker, as well as percussion supplies for music teacher Emily McDougall at the Thompson School. NAMA also provided $10,050 in technical staff honorariums for the fall 2019 and 2021 NAS marching band programs, has continued to support uniform purchases and maintenance for the NAS choirs and bands, and sponsored clinicians for classroom enrichment. Recently approved by the board, NAMA provided $1,000 in startup funding for a winter guard program, as well as $2,000 in student support for a NAS band and chorus trip planned for the World Strides Festival in Boston in April. We're also very pleased to have awarded a total of $6,300 in scholarships to college-bound music seniors in 2020 and 2021, and also provided funding for our stipend program, which awards students up to $100 toward extracurricular music educational programs. To celebrate our talented music students, NAMA also supplied $2,886 for plaques and trophies for the 2020 and 2021 NAS Music Department Award ceremonies. NAMA is extremely grateful to the community of North Andover and to the many parents and volunteers who have helped us in this mission to support music education throughout the North Andover Public Schools. Exclusive of the student awards, please accept our donations totaling $37,432.27. There are a few more items listed, but I basically covered everything.
This is amazing.
That is amazing. Please say yes.
Can I try on that jacket? No, this is truly amazing, and I mean, I've been here a long time, and I think it's when I first met Kim, and I think you were still on the NAMA board, and you're still here.
Yeah.
I know.
She'll be president next year.
All right, okay. Secret ballot. This is absolutely fantastic, and I thank you. I know on behalf of the school committee and the community, but most importantly, the students who, I don't know if they realize how much work from a parent perspective goes in to help this. And so, thank you so much.
Thank you. It's really always truly a pleasure. I love being there with the kids. I'm going to miss it a lot. This is my last year. So it really has been a joy every step of the way. It doesn't feel like work when we're doing it with the kids. So it's been great.
Absolutely. All right. Any?
Make a motion to accept the donation.
Yeah. I was
Second.
just going to say, so motion, we're alternating this time. So motion made by Ms. Vitsky, seconded by Ms. Mably. Any discussion on the motion? We'll start virtually with you, Ms. Picard.
Yeah, just to clarify, those coats are part of the uniform, and they do not go with individual students and leave when they graduate, right? They stay
Oh, yeah.
with the school as part of the uniform closet, so to speak.
They do, yes. Yep.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I know what a difference those coats make, and I know what a difference. I played chimes in high school. I played bell kit in high school. I know that they're really important and terrific. And you've got to keep them up, and they are
Yeah.
very expensive. So I appreciate everything you've done, and I love that NAMA has done such a beautiful job expanding beyond the high school in the last 10 years and doing a lot of work in honoring requests from the middle school and the elementary schools. So I appreciate that work, and I too enjoyed it, Linda. I remember when you came on, and you've just done such beautiful work, and
Thank you.
I know that will be continued. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
All right.
And I agree on the chimes. I had a 2019 percussion graduate, and he always used to tell about trying to cart those chimes out when they were falling apart on the field. You know, you have 30 seconds to get it on and off the field, and when they fall apart, that doesn't really work out so well. So he was very jealous that he didn't get to play.
All right. Other thoughts or questions?
This is amazing. Like,
Yeah.
Thank you.
stunned.
This is the best part of being here. So,
Just one comment. I have a ninth grader who's now in the band, and I've enjoyed beyond band, getting to know these three women in particular, and you have no idea how much work they do on behalf of our students. I do feel the need to point out that Ms. Karen Basel's students have already graduated, yet she still volunteers and is very, very involved in making things happen for our music students and for our graduates during the SOS party. So I'm so thankful
Yes.
to you.
Actually, all on the SOS committee as well. So,
Yes, all
yeah.
three of them.
Yeah.
So
As well as Amy.
I know. I was going to say that. I'm like, the timing is nice here.
You know, we thought of it.
Timing's very good.
incredible, just all the volunteers, but incredible, like, force of nature, you people. So thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. If there's no other discussion, we'll do a roll call vote, starting virtually. Ms. Picard?
Yes.
Ms. Vitsky?
Yes.
Ms. Mably?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. With a incredible thank you for your donation.
Thank
We
you
truly
so much.
appreciate it.
Thank you.
And yay, that picture.
I know,
Sorry.
I know.
When are we gonna start yelling about it?
Real soon, real soon.
Yes.
We might need jackets for that as well.
Or shovels and.
Chair McDevitt, though, honestly, thank you guys. I was at that football game on that Wednesday evening.
Yes.
You mentioned the
Oh
student
my
hypothermia.
God, it was so
It was
cold.
probably the coldest game I
Yep.
had been at in 20 years. So thank you so much on behalf of
And
everyone.
what a pleasure to be there, though, and we felt so fortunate to have been included in that, as well as Mrs. Bissell and I were also at the Gillette game, so it was like
Oh,
the
yeah.
topping of a career. It was wonderful. We didn't feel the cold at all.
All right.
Well, maybe a little. We didn't wear the jackets, though, so.
That's right.
So we got Bruins next, right?
Right,
Oh,
maybe.
that could happen.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thank
thank
you all
you.
very much. Well done.
All right, so we'll move on to minutes from the meeting on February 17th, 2022.
Mr. McDevitt, I make a motion to accept the minutes from February 17th, 2022 as presented.
Second.
All right, motion made by Ms. Mably, seconded by Ms. Vitsky. Discussion. Seeing none, hearing none, I will have a roll call vote, starting virtually. Ms. Picard?
Yes.
Ms. Vitsky?
Yes.
Ms. Mably?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Minutes approved, 5-0. I'm sorry, 4-0, 4-0. Used to that. All right, we are at the students here. Ethan and Lindsay.
Thank you. So we'd like to start out by quickly talking about the new updates to the NAS Future Plans 22 page. Cole Aubrey plans to attend Nichols College with a double major in sports management and marketing and hopes to play club soccer while at college. And Tessa Bigelow plans to attend Skidmore College with a double major in business and English. In addition, the class of 2022, the senior class, is holding a big fundraiser all throughout March. There will be a gift card / gift certificate giveaway every day from local North Andover businesses announced every day. There's still time to enter by checking senior students' emails or checking out the class of 2022 Instagram page. And please support the senior class with this.
The North Andover High School National Honor Society has a diaper drive, and it's started already and runs until the end of the month. To NHS members, please remember to sign up by using the link sent out by Officer Zena. Sign up and meet in the Terry's room to help a parent select a spot for donations to be collected. As for others who would like to support the diaper drive, please wait for an update from NHS on where to put donations that you have. In addition, Mr. and A tickets will be sold at school on Thursday next week, on the 10th through Wednesday the 16th, and the rest will be sold at the door. And the showtime is March 18th.
The North Andover High School band and choirs have a big trip planned for the first weekend of April, the 1st through the 3rd, for the Boston World Spreads Music Festival. Our high school music department will be competing and meeting many high school musicians and directors, so it's a big time for the music department right now.
Just a reminder that the freshman-sophomore semi-formal that they're really excited about is on March 11th at 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Salvatore's Restaurant.
Another big trip happening from April 1st to April 3rd is for the North Andover High School Model United Nations. They have a big in-person conference. It's called Eagle Monk, and it will be in Boston. And it's going to be a great opportunity for our Model United Nations students to meet other passionate MUN students, get very involved in an in-person full weekend conference for the first time in a long time, and to represent our high school very well while they're at it.
Student Council is planning a second Spirit Rally planned for April 1st. As much as it sounds like a joke, it's not, rest assured. It was created because we missed out on the annual Thanksgiving Rally. And so in order to prepare, we're getting hyped to get some fun out for some hard-earned stress relief. In addition, we also have spring sports registration that is still open. There's also an NAPRN discussion group on anxiety and stress in athletics that is going to be held on Wednesday, March 16th at 7 p.m. at the North Andover Middle School cafeteria. And as for state tournaments, we have the girls basketball v. Attleboro High that will be held at Attleboro High, and the cost for general admission is $5. We have the girls ice hockey state tournament versus Manfield on March 4th at 4 p.m. tomorrow. The location is Haverhill High School, and the cost for adults is $7 and $5 for students. Please consider showing up to support our teams for all their hard work.
In addition, the North Andover High School College Scholarships list is accepting submissions from students until March 10th, next Thursday. Seniors, please check your emails or the North Andover High School Guidance Department website for the list of scholarships and details on how to apply for them. And the final piece of news we have for you tonight is news about the at-home COVID-19 optional testing program for the high school. It will be available on Friday, March 4th, so tomorrow, at lunch in front of the high school auditorium. 2 boxes of tests will now be distributed once a month during lunch. For further details, Principal Jackson sent out an email to student emails earlier today. And that is all we have for you tonight. Any questions?
Awesome. Thank you. Great report as always, Ethan and Lindsay. So we'll start virtually there. Ms. Picard, any questions or thoughts for the students?
I would just, a couple of things. One, I'm really thankful that the Instagram was in our minutes this week, and I appreciate that continuous update from you guys. And I'm thinking, Mr. McDevitt, that this is the time of year we usually get a couple of juniors who are starting to step into this role and get trained in that. So not so much a question for the students, although I am certain that you guys are going to help the next folks that come through, but maybe you all know what's going on. I know that usually comes through the principal as a recommendation to us. So do you know if that's being talked about at this point?
So not right now, but we will be getting the students ready, and I'll touch base with Principal Jackson regarding the next year so that they can shadow with Lindsay and Ethan. They've got some good shoes to follow, so we want to bring them in. Bring them in soon.
We've really just had such wonderful representation from the high school, and I appreciate it. And I know this gets to be a busier and busier season for you guys. So thank you so much for all the information, and look forward to hearing what happens next.
All right, Ms. Vitsky?
Thank you. Thank you, guys. I just have one question. Where do we go for that senior class fundraiser?
It was emailed to, I know, senior emails about a couple days ago. And I believe it's also up on the Class of 2022 Instagram page to sign up for it.
So if we just search for Class of 2022, we'll find it.
Let's see if we can get that tweeted out to help with that. So maybe Principal Jackson, Dr. Gilligan, we can remind some folks or retweet.
Yeah, it would be certainly helpful, especially with the superintendent as well, we'll retweet it and find out. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Ms. Malin?
And just quick question is, I believe that the Spain trip is happening right now, and I just didn't know when they're due back and if they ever shoot you guys texts to tell you how things are going. Because it's kind of exciting that they're finally back to doing that. I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, so unfortunately I haven't received any text from anybody, which is, I suppose, a little sad.
That's
but they
probably
are
normal.
due back this weekend. So the students who are currently on the Spanish exchange will be back in school this coming Monday.
That's exciting. Awesome.
I've heard from a couple that they are having some well-deserved fun. So we'll leave it at that. And I would just like to, the raffle, I think, is obviously great. I will say I was the first winner of the raffle on March 1st. So I won, which we accidentally drove over our old North Andover umbrella, so I got an umbrella and orzo, which is one of my favorite restaurants. But they won't give me the prize until my son pays his senior dues. So,
That's a smart
so very smart advisors on their part. So awesome job. Thank you again so much. And you're welcome to stay. And you're welcome to finish those scholarship applications too. You might be muted, Lindsay.
Oh, okay. I believe they're due March 18th. I think that's the final day. But in order to submit, no, I think it's due March 10th.
10th, I
But
think.
a lot of them, if you need, like, say, a recommendation or you need your transcript, you need to get that in before, like, on the 8th or 9th. So that's important to get in.
Good.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Here's Pam.
Oh, all right. Ms. Petrowski is joining. I'm
7:30.
going to say 7:30. Ms. Petrowski is joined virtually. How are you?
Lovely. How are you doing?
Well, never better. All right. All right, Dr. Gilligan, we will start off. We're going to keep the suspense out there, but we'll start off with Dr. Gilligan and the health report.
Well, as much as I'd like to jump to B right away with the MSBA update, we will start with the health report. as everyone, as many of you know, especially the watching audience, on February 17th, the school committee voted unanimously to not impose a new mask mandate as it expired on the 28th. And as of this week, on Monday, we became mask optional. Late last Friday, the CDC made some changes with public transportation and school transportation. And I had some questions about it, so I did reach out to DESE on Saturday night, and they got back to me Sunday morning. And we sent something out to the community Sunday that we also became mask optional on school bus and van transportation as well. So I will turn it over to Cheryl soon, but Dr. Mealy, myself, Marcy, and Lorene have been around to many of our schools. And, I think the biggest component of going mask optional was supporting students and staff, whether they want to wear a mask or they didn't want to wear a mask, and making sure everyone felt comfortable. And, to date, being around the different schools, we've seen students, some students still wear masks, some staff still wearing masks. It's probably, I'd say my guesstimate, and this is not scientific, Stan Limpert, who went to MIT, so Stan, it's not a scientific study, but it seems like about a third of our students and staff are probably still in masks, and that's where they are with their comfort level, and I'm glad that folks support it. But that's where we are, and at this time I want to turn it over to Cheryl Barzak in terms of our health update, so she can go over our numbers. It is, to me, really remarkable that just a month and a half, 2 months ago, we were close to 300, and I think we're down under 10 today. So, Nurse Barzak.
Thank you, Dr. Gilligan. This will be brief. And you're correct, we're at 9 today, and pretty much have been running 8 and 9 this whole week. So this is the daily COVID dashboard for today. The next slide shows where we've been all year. These are slides you're familiar with. And we continue to be decreasing and holding steady even after the February break. And the next slide, these are our weekly cases that we report to DESE Wednesday to Wednesday. And both weeks before vacation and then this week coming out of vacation have both been 12 cases. And most of them have been parent reported from home tests. There really aren't tests coming from the health department anymore. These are parents that report to us. Our vaccination rate hasn't changed a lot, about 10 since the last presentation in each elementary school are added. The high school stays about the same, and middle school added 3 or 4. But we also have vaccine clinic tomorrow at the high school from 2:30 to 5:30. There still are open slots if people are interested. And that's it for vaccine. We do continue to monitor and track trends, which we've been doing all along by looking at these case counts, monitoring school attendance. Essex County is in a green level right now. They haven't been green for a long time. The state also tracks the wastewater trends, which are also decreasing. We have good vaccination rates in the community, as well as the state of Massachusetts is close to 78%, and hospitalizations are down. So we still continue to monitor and track trends. But as Dr. Gilligan mentioned, our case counts have been very low, and there have been, it's really nice to report this tonight. Any questions?
Ms. Picard, do you have a question?
I do. I know that we're continuing the mitigation strategies like hand washing and having, distance in classroom as much as possible. Are we anticipating at any point that changing? That comes from DESE, correct? That we need to continue to have the distance in the classrooms?
Yes, that's a great question. We asked that on Tuesday. We still have the DESE phone calls every Tuesday. And for right now, that's what they asked us to continue with the exact mitigation strategies that we have in place.
Okay, thank you very much.
We will continue the weekly meetings, and I'm sure as they continue to track numbers and case counts and everything in the state, that it may change, but right now, that's where we're staying.
Thank you.
Ms. Vizzi?
No questions. Thank you, Cheryl.
I'm sorry, Ms. Petrowski. I didn't realize you were virtually there as well. I don't mean to skip over you. Sorry.
It's okay. I'm good. Thank you.
Ms. Mably?
Just one quick, Jim, would you go back to that vaccination rate slide? Yeah. So, not wanting to make more work for you, Ms. Barzak, but just an observation. I know that my child got the vaccinations at school, at the middle school last year, then the booster at the high school. That was incredibly convenient, and I'm so grateful that you all have done all that. I didn't know if looking at some of the other schools, if it would be helpful to, like at the Thompson or the Atkinson or whatever, have vaccination potential clinics at those places. I know it's harder with elementary school kids. People want to be with their children, but I didn't know if some people just have trouble getting at the doctor's office. So I didn't know if that was being considered.
That's a great and very timely question. Today at our COVID task force meeting, our new public health nurse, Carolyn Lamb, offered to, she has now purchased some Pfizer vaccine, and she has offered to not only go to any individual school that we request, but also to do some at-home
Awesome.
That's fantastic.
vaccinations for some students that struggle going to clinics. So we already have her set up for 3 students, and Thompson was the school we did talk about. We're going to probably select a date after school that might work for everybody. We just want to make sure that there is some need there, because the people that were having some trouble, we got them transportation to the clinics after school on Fridays at the high school, or over some of the other ones that we've had. So we are following up, and that's very timely. Now we will have this vial or 2 of Pfizer in our community.
That's fantastic. I'm so grateful to you. And again, it's important to highlight, you guys are doing so much stuff that people don't even realize. We didn't even realize. So thank you so much for that. Really great.
Just a quick question for you. This is fantastic, and you guys have really done an amazing job. It's hard to believe we were almost here 2 years ago, kind of starting this off, and I don't think anybody realized that we'd be here 2 years later. With the students that are under 12, am I correct that they have to have a parent? Is that part of the reason why parent present when they get vaccinated? Like
Yes.
a parent can't sign a permission slip, is that?
That's correct.
Okay, but they can at 12 and above, right?
I think that's the age. I know at middle school and high school, they just have a permission slip, yes.
Okay, so that may be part of the reason to
makes sense.
literally get the child and the parent together at a clinic for
Right.
some of those. So
That's why we're thinking about like parent pickup at the end of the day, or even drop off in the morning.
yeah,
But then
absolutely.
you have to worry about the traffic. So we are working on that, but thank
That's
you. Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you so much, and I think we say it every meeting. I hope we say it every meeting. Thank you to you and your team and the COVID task force for all of the work and the extra work that we know you've done to help us in this process. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Cheryl. And on that note, you can leave, Cheryl. We're not going to keep you around. I'm sure you have a lot to do.
You might want to stay. This is exciting.
This is fabulous.
You know, Mr. McDevitt, over the years, I have noticed you invite a lot of people. We always invite people to stay after it's their turn. Not many take us up on that. So, anyway, a terrific job by Cheryl, in fact, bringing the vaccines to students at their schools is critical. We had a clinic scheduled for the Friday of break, working through the town, but as you know, Friday we had that snowstorm, so they'll continue to work with the town, and the new public nurse, Lamb, is outstanding, working with Brian, and we'll keep bringing it to folks who, completely optional, want to do it. So, again, thank you so much, Cheryl. The next update is on what's called, it says on the agenda, the MSBA, the Massachusetts School Building Authority. So, for those that don't know, yesterday we were on a call with the Massachusetts School Building Authority. And we have, on the call yesterday was myself, Dr. Mealy, Chair McDevitt, the chair of the Select Board, Laura Bates, as well as the chair of the FinCom, Donovan O'Connell, and town manager, Melissa Murphy Rodriguez. And so we were on that call because,
Excuse me, state reps as well.
oh, state
Sorry.
reps as well, yeah, absolutely. The state delegation, not just our representatives, but senators had read some information into the record, particularly Rep. Minicucci and Representative Wynn. So they were on the call. But with the Massachusetts School Building Authority, we're on yesterday, and we were one of 20 school districts up until yesterday that had applied for a new school or major reconstruction. And yesterday, the Kittredge Elementary School was voted into the eligibility period, which is very exciting, into the MSBA project. So we're excited. We have a lot of work to do ahead of us. We have some slides to show you tonight about next steps, because I'm sure there'll be a lot of questions about it. But oftentimes when you apply to the MSBA program, it takes 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times to even get in. And for us to get in on this first try is huge. It's a testament to the planning and the work and collaboration that we have between the schools and the town. It's also a testament to this board here, the school committee, for the work that they've done in terms of advocating. And frankly, Dr. Mealy and the committee that did a lot of the work as the subcapacity planning committee and the submission to the state have been remarkable. So we're pretty excited. Dr. Mealy has since put up the slides that I was looking for. So again, as you know, this year we had 8 meetings this fall, trying to educate the community on our needs. What do our schools need? And as part of it, Holly Vitsky Lynch, she was the chair and represented the middle school and the school committee. Dr. Mealy, really tremendous job from school administration. Christy Martin from the Kittredge, Michael List from the Franklin, Lori Aria from the Sargent, Chrissy Herrickle from the Atkinson, Bill Hart from the Thompson, and Stan Limpert as a district-wide representative. If you go to our website and you look at these reports, you couldn't hire a better consulting firm to put this information together. This was really remarkable work, and it really contributed to us successfully petitioning and having the MSBA move forward with the Kittredge project as part of a school project. In addition, I think what impressed the state the most is that, like, we're in a position as a town financially and in terms of our school planning and long-term plan to put it all together and see this through. So I think that was critical. So I will, Dr. Mealy, I want to turn it over to you, talk just a little bit, because folks say, oftentimes I hear, well, like, we're going to town meeting, we're going to vote for the facilities master plan too, and all the buildings will be in, and we've got an MSBA, and what does that mean? And I think a couple of these slides will be very helpful to the community just in terms of the next steps.
Right. Next steps specific to the Kittredge project.
Absolutely.
Regarding the facilities master plan, as a reminder, as we've said many, many times in the public forums, and the town manager during her presentation has talked about the fact that these are standalone projects, even though it's part of a facilities master plan, and get approved individually. And so this May meeting, we'll be looking for design funds for the middle school and this Kittredge project. Specific to Kittredge and acceptance into the eligibility period, the first question people have is, wait a second, eligibility period? That doesn't sound very definitive.
Right.
And are concerned about, does that mean we're in, or we still have some steps? Well, there are steps, but the hardest part is getting accepted into the eligibility program. As Dr. Gilligan said, 17 schools were ultimately chosen out of 58 applications this year. So we were very fortunate to be one of those. And pretty much, if you do what you're supposed to do, you go through the program. The ones that don't are usually the ones that decide on their own they don't want to finish the program. So it's up to us, is basically what I'm saying. During the eligibility period, the authority will work with the local district to determine its financial and community readiness. And they assign us a project coordinator. I reached out to her already and am setting up a meeting to understand the steps and get on them quickly so that you'll see later in the slide there are some deadlines, how you have a certain amount of time to submit these. We'll get them in before those, well before those. The town manager has already prepared the warrant language, having that reviewed by both the MSBA and our own legal counsel in order to start the process. And MSBA was impressed that we were already doing that. That I think had something to do with their decision as well, because it definitely shows the commitment the community has, and that's a big part of what they want to see. And like I said, we have been assigned a project coordinator. So the overall process includes the eligibility period, of which there are some steps you'll see. Then we have to form a project team. Then we have to do a feasibility study, the schematic design, from which the cost estimates are based in the funding approval. We'll be looking at those estimates. And then the funding of the project based on that. And then the detailed design, the 90%, and then in the final design schematics. And then construction, and then the final closeout of the project. It's a long process, but they walk you through it. So specific to the eligibility period, which is what we are in now, we need to complete an initial compliance certification within 30 days. And then we have to form a school building committee within 60 days. And they have some prescribed conditions for what that looks like. But I asked during the call yesterday and was informed that, yes, they're aware that communities have their own charter, in conditions, and they can work out so that we're in compliance with ours, but also have people on there that they need to see on those committees. So we have 60 days to do that. And then there's an educational profile and enrollment process that takes that you have 90 days to complete. And the maintenance and capital planning documents, a lot of that really comes from the submittal we already did. It's just a matter of seeing if anything's changed and reporting out on that. We have 180 days for that. And then the local authorization of funding, we should be well within that with having 270 days to do.
So, super fast question. When
Yep.
they say, for example, 90 days for the educational profile and enrollment assessment, that is, clock started yesterday.
No, the clock hasn't started yet. So that's part of the conversation I'm going to have with the project coordinator is, when does our clock start?
Okay. All right.
Yep.
Well, and also related then to that, so the authorization of funding, 270 days, as you said, we will know well before that unless something went awry. Does that mean we get to move faster if we move more quickly than the 270 days?
No, and while we'll get it done well within time, there's also a built-in break, so to speak, on their part, because they have to make sure that the funding is available for all the projects. So those projects that were approved for the eligibility period, that's a hard word to say, last year, they're July 2023 before they can go to the next step for a vote. And we are no sooner than July of 2024. So we've got plenty of time to do all this and get everything set up. One of the things that I don't know if people recall from when we did the green repair program, part of the process isn't that you bid out for the design firm or the project. You have to have a project manager. But they assign you 3 options for each, and you choose from one of those. And that will be during that time as well.
During the 270?
Right. So we'll be ready to go.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So I have already reached out. I will be speaking with the project coordinator pretty soon. We will execute the initial compliance certification. That's pretty easy. We'll start to think about the school building committee and what the charter does require with regards to that. And then we'll begin work on the educational profile questionnaire and the enrollment projections. And again, those were included as part of the submission. We just have to see if anything's changed. And that's it.
I feel like we should do like a wave or something. I feel like we're missing a little bit of confetti or something. I don't know.
Ms. Bailey, no mistake for our lack of enthusiasm here tonight. Like, we walked into Finance Committee to present the operating budget last night, and we were getting fist bumps from the Finance Committee. Like, we're super excited about it, but it is a long process. This is tremendous for North Andover. because this was it's the really key linchpin as part of Facilities Master Plan 2 to take a lot of burden off the taxpayer and the debt off the taxpayer because of the cost of a project like this. So we're super excited. It's amazing. There's only 17 districts in the state that have got in on the project, and it will not only allow us to ensure equity, continue to tackle class size, but more importantly, provide the appropriate spaces for students that are needed, and also build capacity for future growth in the community as we grow. So,
That's great.
Pretty exciting. And last night it was funny walking into FinCom. I've never walked into FinCom, with a couple of FinCom members saying fist bump, and it was about the MSBA, even though they were for the operating budget. So really cool. And again, it's the work of all the parents on that subcommittee, but it's also the work of the school committee and your recommendation and the work you guys have put in. But it's also the collaborative nature of the relationship between us and Melissa Murphy Rodriguez and the town. Like, together we can make this happen. And it's like beyond exciting. So,
just a heads up too, when Dr. Gilligan talks about together we can make it happen. Something that I am working on. I had a site visit with a firm that builds. They're not steel structures or the normal construction, but there are gyms that you can build for a lot less money than regular construction. And so we walked the ABECC today in that preschool playground, and just talking to the town manager, we had set aside $200,000 for the performance center floor at the middle school, but insurance ended up covering it. So that money could possibly be reallocated for something like this, depending on the cost. And so I'm going to get the estimate. So we're working on some other options for that one that could kind of carry us through till 2035, which seems like forever away, in order to get them the space that they need that could be usable. It would be heated space, but it's like a steel frame that has a thick fabric as the cover on it. It's kind of like the air dome, but it's different because you can go straight and then have like a traditional roof on it. We've probably all been in them without even realizing that we've been in this type of building. But it's just another option we're pursuing to try to get us through, but still provide space to those who need it.
That's very cool.
Awesome. All right. I think I see Ms. Picard with a hand raised there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. McDevitt. A couple of questions. First of all, this slide deck is not attached to our agenda, so I hope that it will be. The press release is attached to our agenda, but this slide deck isn't. And I think that's important for the community to understand the steps. The school building committee, can you remind us a little bit how that is? If I recall correctly, we assign a couple of members and the select board assigns a couple of members. Can you walk us through that a little bit?
Not yet, I can't.
Okay, that's fine.
It would be off of memory of what I think it is, not what I know it to be. I have assigned myself the task of looking up what it is, but I haven't done it yet, so I will for the next meeting.
And I'm sure that our town council will help us and guide us as well. You were saying that there's a built-in pause for 2024. Does that mean we can't have shovels in the ground until summer 2024?
So going into any project, any shared project with MSBA, you have to realize that it extends the time it's going to take to complete that project. As you saw from this timeline, just getting to the part where you're getting into design is further out than you would normally have. So the middle school project is going to be what we've seen traditionally. We're going to hire a design firm, and as soon as they can, go through the analysis and talk to our staff and our community about the needs and figure it out, then you move on into construction. I would anticipate probably 20 26 or 27 that you have construction done on this project.
Thank you, that's helpful. And one of the things that I remember we talked about in the process was how North Andover maintains its buildings. And so I just want to give a shout out of thanks to, you know, really the whole school community, the students and the faculty, as well as our custodial staff in the way that we've been able to maintain our buildings. I know that that's one of the reasons that they were able to approve this, is because they see what a great job we're doing, even with older buildings, and they know we can do so much more.
It is important for them to see that you, one, are maintaining, and two, will maintain whatever they help us build. So you're absolutely right.
Thank you, I'm set.
All right. Not the last time we're talking about it, but other questions, Ms. Petrowski?
I'm just wondering if you have shared the news with the Kittredge family and what their reaction was. I feel like we should have got it on tape or record. Do people say tape anymore? Sorry.
Yeah, so we actually sent out a press release yesterday to every family member, every school in town, all the parents and families of every school community member. The town manager sent it out to her list of every community member. We put it on Twitter, Facebook, like everything possible. The only thing that was hard.
It should have been like an assembly or something for Kittredge. Like,
Oh, completely. You know, I can attest to the fact that Mr. McDevitt, myself, and Mr. Mealy, Dr. Mealy, we were still in the meeting, and like, you know, we're prepared to send stuff out. And I look on Twitter, and Representative Minicucci had said, "Congratulations, North Andover," and then my phone blew up, and I'm trying to pay attention to the MSBA, but no, they have all the information. It's super exciting.
Yeah.
And we'll continue to provide people with updates as we continue to go. We're in really good shape. So
I bet they're really excited. Well, the kids probably don't even quite understand what it means, but still, I bet they're excited.
Yeah. Awesome. Ms. Vitsky?
No, that's great.
Ms. Mably?
Very excited.
Perfect. All right. Anything else, Dr. Gilligan?
Superintendent's report is closed.
Closed for business. All right. All right. So I will just say a couple of quick things. One, it was an honor and a privilege to be part of the MSBA meeting yesterday, and just to be there with FinCom and the Select Board and Town Manager Dr. Gilligan, state reps, absolutely fantastic. And there were 17 communities. When you kind of get on the webpage and they show the schools that are going to be included in the eligibility phase, and each district went through and talked about their community and their needs and what was going on, and being a impartial bystander on it. I was so impressed, when we talked about, our financial readiness to do the program, as well as the needs. And I think it was clear, that we were going to move forward with it. But the whole time I was thinking, like, please tell me they're going to do all 17 at once, and they're not going to individually start to vote on one versus another. And that there was going to be some, like 14 out of 17 that came through. And so when they ever started and they said, we're going to take a motion to approve all 17, like this massive sigh of relief kind of went through, which was just absolutely fantastic, because the districts that were all on that slide are so deserving of what was there. So that was great. I think one of the things, that has been alluded to already is, this is a linchpin in terms of where we are for the community and the other work that has been done. And Holly, I can't thank you enough for the time and the effort that you and the subcommittee, and Jim, all right, fine, we'll add Jim in there too, and Stan, who I think has been on all of our building committees for a long time. But honestly, to see the work that you guys did and the planning and the input that people had from the community. And sometimes, we would do those meetings and they weren't super well attended, but we got really good questions at every single one. And, I think Dr. Mealy said all the time as we looked to those things, we don't want to get to the end of the process and say, did anybody ever think of this? And I don't know if anything is going to come up that we didn't think of. I'm sure there will be. However, we have knocked around a tremendous amount of ideas, and really thank you for your work with that. I think that helped us with that. And, you know, to have a collaborative work and a team with the Select Board, FinCom, Melissa, Town Manager, to try to just do this, to see the funding that's out there is amazing. I think when I look at the Facilities Master Plan 2 and kind of where we are with that, there's a lot of projects that are on there, and it's tough to kind of say, you know, this one goes before that one, and they're all incredibly well deserving of attention for that. And I think the key thing that Melissa said, I don't remember exactly which meeting, but that the timeline wasn't fixed. And, you know, as funds came up and as things changed, that timeline would be changing, or could be changing, just as it did with Facilities Master Plan 2. So thank you, you know, even for your comments tonight, Dr. Mealy, on a potential gym or a potential solution for some space at the ABAC, right? And I think we all know and recognize that, you know, the CAFA gym that we have there does not hit all of the needs that we have. And we may put a solution in there that, you know, I don't know. I mean, it may work, it may not work, but, you know, to think outside the box of what can we do for X number of years to make that money valuable for the education of students, I just think is absolutely huge. Ms. Picard mentioned building committees. There will most likely be two separate, there'll be a lot of building committees coming up, but there'll be two separate building committees regarding the middle school and Kittredge, assuming that we're kind of moving forward from a town meeting perspective with that. We will be working with town council, you know, how it relates to MSBA guidelines, how it relates to town charter, how it relates to how many members conceivably can be overlapping between those two committees. They cannot be the same members on each of them. There has to be some new kind of membership, if that makes sense as well. So all of that will be coming out. We don't have a deadline or a requirement in terms of when we have that. Yet we know that we've got, you know, give or take about 60 days or so, you know, but certainly the wheels are moving on that. So absolutely fantastic. Two more quick things that I'll say. You know, one, I was nervous coming back, even though we voted. I'm in favor of the removal of the mask. For our students, I was so encouraged to see those numbers from Cheryl with, I think we're at 9 still, or 12, you know, the week prior and the week after vacation. Just great job. I can't thank the community enough for taking mitigation steps to try to help us return to school safely. You know, we were able to remove masks, you know, from buses and schools, and keeping up with hand washing and all of those things, which are absolutely fantastic. But I think it's a little bit of a sad commentary as well. I'm encouraged by it, but I was talking to some kids at the middle school, and, you know, I have an 8th grader, and these kids haven't had a normal middle school year at all, right? Their 6th grade years, you know, broke down in March, and I said, well, what do you think? Like, how are things going? You know, and they said, you know, a lot of their teachers were maskless, and, you know, some were comfortable, and they were okay with that. And they said that the kids seemed to be, you know, kind of following suit as well. And I think the thing that struck me the most, which was I didn't know what my teacher looked like. And, you know, when I thought about that, when the kids were remote last year, they saw teachers on camera. And so they saw their faces. And now that they've been back in school, we have all been wearing masks in those. And I was so glad to hear them say that they were obviously maskless or mask optional, and relieved to do that. But I just thought, you know, it just overwhelmed me on a couple of different levels to just realize they didn't even realize exactly what their teachers looked like. And one said, like, "Oh, I did not think her mouth looked like that." So I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, definitely, I think,
Could I
interesting.
make another point
Yeah.
related to that? I've heard from, and one of them is my own daughter, but I've heard from other at the high school level too, that some of the girls are not wanting to take the mask off because they're self-conscious about what they look like. And that struck me as sad. I feel like, is there something we can do to, change that perception? Like,
I hadn't heard that, actually.
I
but
actually heard the same thing.
Really?
I've heard the same thing.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right,
You
so
know,
we're
because
gonna-
I was really surprised.
Breaking up their acne, or like someone's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
I have a breakout. I don't want to take my mask off," or which is the mask probably is contributing to that. But
Right.
yeah, but
right.
yeah, I heard the same thing from
Me too.
a friend who's a teacher.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly.
I also
something
didn't
we're-
know what my students looked like, which was weird. I'm like, wait, who are you?
I mean, it's
Got
certainly something we've talked about, like everyone being comfortable, whether you choose to wear a mask or not wear a mask.
Right, but we talked about from a health perspective,
Yeah.
not from a
But
Yeah.
self-esteem perspective.
Yes.
But from a social emotional or self-esteem perspective, I think one of the things is that, like, again, we've all gotten conditioned to wearing masks and our comfort level. And I have to say, I went to Read Across America at the Franklin School, and I'm in the Rise 1 program, and I'm without a mask, and I've got all these kids around me. And I got to tell you, for like a minute or two, I'm like, I feel like I'm doing something wrong here
Yeah.
because I've been wearing a mask with everyone, and I felt just, maybe not self-conscious in the way that the way you bring it up for students may feel, and I can totally see that perspective. But it's definitely a change,
Yeah.
and I think it's going to take some getting used to. And again, nothing formal, but it seems like about a third of students. I can't speak for staff, but it's like in the buildings I'm in, it's roughly about a third that are still wearing masks and comfortable doing so. So that's an interesting perspective and something to keep in mind. And thank you for bringing it up.
I wouldn't want to put you on the spot there, Marcy, but I would just say, that may be something we want to think about. And I don't know if you have any thoughts off the top.
Well, we've talked about it. We have talked about it. It actually came up just in passing a few weeks ago with just a friend of mine whose daughter happens to be in 5th grade, and we were together, and and her two youngest kids, one in being a self-conscious 5th grade young lady, and the other being a very shy 1st grade son. Both are choosing to wear their masks for the same reasons. I do agree with Dr. Gilligan that I feel like in time, that will, for most, that will, people will feel more ease around that. But it is, part of it is very typical and expected. But there are going to be a few that have some longer kind of angst around it.
And your point, Mr. McDevitt, is not lost on me. Like from the pre-COVID, the bus tours and getting to know faculty from orientation with all the new staff we hire. I have a good memory for knowing everyone. But when I see people now without masks, I have to it's not the progressive lenses. I have to take a double take to reintroduce myself a little bit because it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah. No, good point though, Holly. Thank you. All right. The last thing I just want to talk about is, and I somewhat wish the students were still here because it's an amazing thing that I think we do at the high school, and it's really pretty fantastic. So if you don't know or you're not aware, we have a mock trial team that's there, and I think you were here and had talked with Kim Cooperstein regarding some of that, being a lawyer as well, and just some of the interests that's there. But the program is led by one of our teachers, Danny Oberlander, and some community members, Kim Cooperstein, and I apologize because I'm going to probably say this wrong, but Eric Schutzbank, thank you, who are our community attorney coaches, and they are part of the business law mock trial team. So I just kind of want to read a little bit here, somewhat into the record, just what's there and what's been doing, and a little bit of the success that they have, because I think this program is so amazing. But these students, are part of the business classes in the DECA team. Some of them have been there since their freshman year, and they, the coaches and the students have all built relationships together, and what is going on with that, and I just want to kind of give some of these students some credit here. They're incredibly amazing and hardworking and busy students, in and out of school with lots of adversity thrown at them in the past 2 years, and challenges. They've missed school with COVID and traveling and abroad and work schedules and sports, but they've really remained consistent and committed to the law mock trial team and the program for that. And they started, I think it was this Tuesday and Wednesday, but over 90 schools competed in this year's Mass Bar virtual mock trials. And last night, I'm not sure if this was Tuesday or Wednesday night based on the email. In their second year of competing, even though it's the third year of the program, they qualified for the Elite Eight. And their goal is obviously to win it all, but to, I think, go from 80 down into the Elite Eight is absolutely fantastic. Whenever the season comes to an end, I do think we want to recognize these students and the program that's here, because it's absolutely fantastic, and I know he and Danny mentions the support that he gets from Principal Jackson as well, and so I do just want to recognize the students, and I do apologize if I say their names incorrectly here, and you may know some of them, but Max Shamel, Emma Bosco, Amanda Steely, Brianna Hughes, Chris Pesarillo, Gianna Donahue, Katie Schmidt, George Zanakis, Samantha Gurani, Lizzie Scarpa, Charlie Cox, Chloe, I'm never going to say this correctly, Drojowski, and Michaela Vincent. So I do just want to acknowledge the mock trial team and really wish them well in their next round, and I hope that they are victorious in their pursuits. So, all right. Dr. Mealy, anything additional that we want to share in terms of Facilities Master Plan 2? What's new?
I don't think we've missed anything tonight, so I don't think I have anything to add.
Okay. I think the one...
Helen's got her hand up again.
Ms. Picard.
I just want to thank Dr. Mealy and the Facility Masters Plan 2 Committee for getting up the final report from the Mount Vernon group. We've been waiting for that, and it is now up there, so I appreciate that.
Right. And a lot more to come on Facilities Master Plan 2 that's there as well. So any questions from the committee now that we have the verdict in from MSBA? All right. Awesome. All right. Moving on to old business, the recycling policy. Ms. Mabley, you want to, or Ms. Dr. Mealy?
Or Dr. Mealy, yeah.
I don't know if there are any questions. We talked about this at the last meeting, just some changes to update. Some of the language was theirs, and some of the language was just us saying we can't make people commit. We want to encourage. So just looking for approval tonight.
So, Mr. McDevitt, I make a motion to approve the recycling policy EEAL as revised in our packet.
Second.
All right. Continuing our alternating pattern here, we have a motion made by Ms. Mabley, seconded by Ms. Vitsky. Discussion. So I will start virtually. Oh, there's Ms. Picard. You moved down in Hollywood Squares there. Ms. Picard, any questions?
No, thank you.
Ms. Petrowski.
I don't have any questions. Thank you.
Ms. Vitsky?
No, thanks.
Ms. Mabley?
All set.
All right, and the chair has none. All right, I'll do a roll call vote on the Recyclables Materials Policy, EEAL. Virtually, we'll start. Ms. Picard?
Yes.
Ms. Petrowski?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Vitsky?
Yes.
Ms. Mabley?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes, 5-0 on our Recyclables Material Policy. There is no new business this meeting. We will open it up for public comment. come on down.
Stan Limpert, 43 Stonecleave Road. Just a couple of notes on this process we've been going through to try to, recondition, refurbish our schools. First is, let me just echo Ms. Picard's comments. The Facilities Master Plan 2 final report may be one of the best reports I've ever seen come out of municipal government here in North Andover. I think that's one of the most clear, well-written, concise reports that really gives us a picture and a roadmap as to how we're going to do Facilities Master Plan 2. So I think that's an excellent starting point for this whole process. Secondly, the thing that nobody has said, but I think is extremely important in this, is the town manager has structured the finances for our effort such that there will be no overrides for the first 5 years of this program, which includes Kittredge School. As you all probably recall, the last time we built the school, the high school, we had a pretty significant override, and we're just still paying that off. We probably have a couple more years to go on that debt exclusion override. We're going to be able to do this with no override, no impact on the taxpayers in our town. That's amazing. That's unheard of, actually. I would be willing to bet that if we looked at the other 16 communities that are going to be getting MSBA funds, they'll all need debt exclusion overrides, I'm guessing. I don't know that for a fact, but this is a very unusual circumstance. The other thing I just wanted to say in passing is kind of echo a comment of yours, Chair McDevitt. Where would we be without Jim Mealy? Where would we have gotten to if it hadn't been for Jim helping us do a lot of the things he's done? He's really stuck with us for well over a decade and has been probably the most instrumental person in where we've gotten to, and so many of the changes that we've made to really help us establish this foundation that we've gotten so we can really move forward. So I just wanted to publicly express my appreciation to you, Dr. Mealy, and everything that you've done for this and will continue to do for us to make this all possible. So thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Member comments. We'll start virtually there, Ms. Picard.
I don't think I have any comments.
All right. Ms. Petrowski.
I don't really either. I'm just really excited. This is a great time for us, and I'm so excited to be part of this.
All right. Ms. Vitsky.
No comments.
Ms. Mably.
Just wanted to say that I had a super blast on Wednesday. Was that yesterday? Doing Read Across America at the Franklin School. It is, other than handing out diplomas, my super favorite day of the whole year. And I was with a fabulous little group of second graders, and I'm so thankful. And I told Principal Clark that I would like to be invited every year for the rest of my life, I hope, even though I'm not part of the school committee, because I just love doing it. So it was great. And I'm also in favor, and we have to tell Ms. Barzak, of hand washing as aggressively as we are now for the rest of our lives, because I think it saves kids from getting sick.
Awesome. I'm just going to make a quick comment, really somewhat in response to Stan. But, when we talk about the funding for this without override, it's not just for Kittredge. It's for the middle school. It's for, I think, the gym at Franklin and the fire station. So 4 major projects to be completed with no financial impact, I think, through fiscal year 2028, which is absolutely amazing. And then if there's an opportunity for that to be extended based upon acceleration of things from a timeline perspective, obviously fantastic. And the other comment that I'm just going to follow up with you on, Stan, is, you thank Dr. Mealy for being here. And I remember rumors of a guy who went up to, I think it was somewhere in New Hampshire. I don't remember what the town, Nashua, New Hampshire, who actually negotiated that Dr. Mealy was part of a package deal to come to North Andover. So, yeah. So whoever that guy is, Stan, I'd like to thank him for bringing him to North Andover as well.
So I have to tell you that's true. So I went on the site visit
back to public
for what
comment.
became our
Breaking our
superintendent
process.
later, Christopher Hoddle.
Yep.
And, that all went well, and he had a big conference room and was bringing his staff in each by each to sort of say good things about him, what a wonderful guy is. And when he came in the door, I said, I don't care about the superintendent guy, I want that guy. I want him to come to work for us. So he was on my hit list right from the very beginning, and I'm so
Yes.
glad he came.
Awesome.
I'm
Thank you.
glad I came too.
Perfect. All right, so we put times back on the agenda. We're actually ahead of time, so I think I don't think we've been on time for a meeting for a long time, so perhaps
Last
since
meeting was too.
Yeah.
were we
2
really?
weeks ago,
Okay,
yeah.
I was thinking it was Ms. Vitsky might have been chair back then. It's been a long time.
I was thinking David Teresi, perhaps.
A long time. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn, and I'm not sure whose turn it is.
It's Ms. Vitsky.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
All right, is there any discussion? All right, we'll do a roll call vote, starting virtually. Ms. Picard,
Yes.
Ms. Petrowski,
Yes.
Ms. Vitsky,
Yes.
Ms. Mabley,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.